You ever wonder what happens when unchecked arrogance crashes headfirst into quiet power, 35,000 feet above the Atlantic, on a routine flight from New York to London? Yeah, that happened. One woman, Annabelle Sterling, decided she had the right to make a young black girl move from her first-class seat just because, well, she said she felt uncomfortable. No real explanation, just a vague discomfort that masked something uglier. What Annabelle didn't know was that this demand wasn't just rude. It was the beginning of the end for her. Imani Washington was 17, sitting in seat 1A, a window seat that felt more like a private suite than a chair. Her world was a mix of books, dreams, and quiet confidence. She was headed to London for a prestigious summer program at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, her mind dancing between lines of Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower and her father's steady presence nearby. Marcus Washington, tech mogul and self-made billionaire, along with Lena, her mother, a respected professor, sat in 1B, quietly closing the final deal that made their family the new owners of the airline itself. Yeah, that's right. The girl Annabelle wanted moved was the daughter of the airline's new owner. The first-class cabin was a sanctuary of calm luxury, lemongrass-scented towels, plush leather, the soft hum of Rolls-Royce engines. But then Annabelle arrived, clicking heels like a storm rolling in. She was all cream-colored pantsuit, perfectly coiffed hair, Cartier bracelets jingling as she wrestled her Gucci bag overhead. She huffed and glared, immediately sizing up everyone around her like she was royalty surveying peasants. Her eyes locked on Imani with that kind of cold appraisal that cuts deep. The silent, "you don't belong here" stare. Imani caught it, felt it like a familiar but unwelcome shadow, but she held her ground, jaw tight, refusing to shrink away. Annabelle wasn't one to stew quietly. She called over Sarah, the lead flight attendant, with over 20 years on the job. "I'm going to have a problem," she whispered, venom dripping beneath her polished tone. "That girl, she's not supposed to be here. I paid for peace and exclusivity. I feel unsafe." Unsafe. The word hung like a weapon in the air, a coward's mask for raw prejudice. Sarah's professionalism flickered, but she stood firm. "All passengers here have cleared security. There's no issue." Annabelle scoffed, escalating. "It's about decorum. About standards. Look at her clothes, her hair. She's a disruption. Upgraded by mistake." Imani's navy blue tracksuit wasn't some cheap knockoff. It was designer, every braid in her hair an art form. But Annabelle didn't see her. She saw a stereotype she wanted to push out of her precious bubble. Sarah's patience thinned. "Miss Washington is a ticketed first-class passenger, just like you. She's been respectful and silent." From seat 1B, Marcus and Lena exchanged looks, but held back, for now. They'd raised Imani to meet ignorance with strength, but they were watching closely, every nerve on edge. Annabelle exploded. "So you're just going to let this continue? I want her moved. Find her a seat in the back. She'll be more comfortable there." The cabin air grew thick. This wasn't a mere customer complaint anymore. It was a battle for basic human decency in the sky. Sarah refused. "I won't ask a passenger to move seats over prejudice. This isn't a negotiation." Annabelle's face flushed, fury spilling out. "You're ignoring a platinum elite member's comfort. This is first class. It's supposed to be exclusive." Voices stirred around them, other passengers glancing up, tension mounting. Marcus placed a steadying hand on Lena's arm. "Not yet," he murmured. "Let's see how they handle this." Imani finally looked away from the window, meeting Annabelle's glare with calm, unwavering eyes. Annabelle snapped. "What are you looking at?" "Just wondering what gives you the right to demand my removal," Imani said, voice steady, each word landing like a dart. Annabelle stammered, unprepared for this quiet confidence. "I have the right as a paying customer. I expect standards." "What standards? Dress? Behavior?" "I was reading quietly until you disrupted the cabin." The cabin absorbed the verbal blows. Annabelle's rage bubbled, but Sarah stepped in, firm. "Enough. You're causing a disturbance. Calm down, or I'll have to report this." A younger flight attendant arrived, nervously taking in the scene. Annabelle doubled down, accusing Sarah of siding with Imani, threatening jobs, demanding the captain. Ben, the junior attendant, looked uneasy but pleaded for calm. Sarah's gaze froze him with authority. There's no problem to solve. This request is prejudice. We don't tolerate that here. Final warning. The mention of federal regulations shook Annabelle, but her ego wouldn't relent. She muttered threats about complaints and lawyers, determined to keep fighting. Imani watched her with something like clinical curiosity, then thanked Sarah quietly. The two shared a look, an unspoken bond forged in that ugly moment. Annabelle stewed in silent fury, rejecting drinks and ignoring menus. Imani put on noise-canceling headphones, lost in her book, but inside, the weight of the moment settled deep. Racism wasn't erased by money or status. Marcus closed his reports. This wasn't over. It was a test of the airline's soul. He called Captain Evans, briefing him on Annabelle's harassment and threats, demanding action. Moments later, Captain Evans emerged from the cockpit, a rare move that snapped the cabin's attention. Annabelle smirked, confident she had an ally in authority, but the captain walked past her straight to Imani and her parents. On behalf of Ascend Air, I apologize for your distress. This will not be tolerated. Imani nodded quietly, grateful but composed. Then Evans turned to Annabelle, shadow falling over her. Miss Sterling, your behavior is unacceptable. Harassment and intimidation are violations. Your status does not grant you the right to discriminate. Annabelle flared. I'm not racist. I sit on diversity boards. The captain's voice dropped, deadly calm. Your resume means nothing. Your actions speak for themselves. You threatened our crew and targeted a minor because of her skin color. He gestured to Marcus. Meet Mr. Washington, the man whose company just bought this airline. The cabin froze. Annabelle's face shifted from shock to horror, the realization crushing. She wasn't just the villain in this story. She'd signed her own professional death warrant, right in front of the man holding all the power. No screams, no outburst, just silence, the kind that swallows arrogance whole. Marcus stepped forward, voice steady but cutting. You claim to promote diversity. Tell me, what would you do to handle a customer behaving like this? Annabelle choked, unable to answer. Lena joined, cool and precise. You didn't see a person. You saw a problem to be removed. You're uncomfortable and unsafe. Words are coded racism. Annabelle's composure shattered. Please, I apologize, I was stressed. Imani stood, voice clear and unyielding. You thought you could bully me out of here. You were wrong. Tears ran down Annabelle's face, her carefully built world collapsing. She begged to make amends, offering to pay for the ticket, laughably out of touch. Marcus shook his head, dry humor flickering. We don't just own this airline. We own the planes, the engines, the communications. You insulted everything. Annabelle slumped, defeated, the truth sinking in. Captain Evans returned, asking Marcus's orders. This is a level 2 threat for passenger interference. Upon landing, she will be escorted by police. Her privileges revoked, platinum elite status gone. No appeals. The verdict was final. Annabelle's empire of entitlement was rubble. For the rest of the flight, the cabin was quiet but charged. Sarah walked taller, empowered by the company's support. Imani tried to read but found the words blurred, a hollow victory. Marcus began work, transforming Ascend Air's culture. Training overhauled, zero-tolerance policies implemented, employee empowerment prioritized. Sarah was promoted to vice president of in-flight culture, leading the change that soon lifted morale and reputation sky-high. Passengers from all backgrounds chose Ascend Air, knowing respect wasn't just a promise, it was enforced. Months later, Imani, sitting with her father on their penthouse terrace, asked quietly, "Do you ever think about her?" Annabelle Sterling. Marcus looked out at the city lights, thoughtful. No, but I think about what she represents, the silent prejudice still everywhere. He smiled softly, pride swelling as he added, "She tried to make you smaller, Imani. Instead, she made us all bigger." The story of Flight 762 isn't just about one woman's downfall. It's a reminder that true power is about integrity and character, not money or status at SO. What do you think? Was Ascend Air's response justice or overreach? Did Annabelle get what she deserved? Or is there more to the story? Drop your thoughts below, because the real journey starts with how we face the hard truths. And hey, if this story hit home, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell to catch more real-life dramas about justice and power. Thanks for listening.